Hello, good evening, welcome, good evening. Another another day is almost over. My name is Obedako. I want to share with you a very short one, what I call marriage and money. Marriage and money. Day in, day out, our understanding of things, our worldview, the knowledge that we process, our conviction, they shape us. They actually eventually decide our output. And the sociology that we have had, the, 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 the upbringing, the culture, from the religion to the academics to the politics to everything. You are born to look for one of these, to look for love and obviously to look for money. And a lot of people's decisions are really centered on this. So the normal pattern is, for most people, especially in our kind of culture, you must marry. And it's a must. And all kind of people have been pushed and been trashed into the sacred institution that they call it marriage. And people have their stories, and I think it's good, but a lot of people are not skilled. And the other day, I was having a debate with somebody, and he was talking of how he's training his children to marry early. Like, how do you decide for your children to marry early? Based on what? Is it an achievement? And what shows that is even going to be one time? And so I'm talking about marriage and money. Usually I talk about entrepreneurship, I talk about innovation, I talk about Africa, I talk about you know, things that can make a life meaningful. And I think uh, the kind of person you choose to marry has a great effect on your life and all the other things that you eventually will try to have. If you happen to have a good one, I think you can do more. But at the same time, a lot of people go through the stress, the pressure. It's actually like a burning house that most people are pushed into if they don't have the required information and a certain amount or certain level of wealth when it comes to money, because the marriage, whether you like it or not, runs on money. And if you don't have it, you have gone to put yourself in a serious trouble. Most people just trivialize it because they from the wedding ceremony, from there a lot of people just spend a lot of money that they don't have, go to borrow to do a very fantastic wedding, big one, and then they say that they've been married. They even call it settle down. I've gone to settle down. Settle down. Yeah. The effect of money on marriage is something that you cannot underestimate. Underestimate. You cannot look at it and say that, oh, it doesn't matter. There's amount, there's a certain level of amount that you have to have. You see, most people work in our country. Most people have ways and means that they live. Most people don't even live on their salary because the salary is not enough. Most people say. And you cannot trivialize money. If you hear that somebody is corrupt, if you hear that somebody is a thief, if you hear that somebody has uh, self-interest in some other things, if you hear that they have sacked somebody because he was not honest with the position, usually all those decisions are being made because of money. People are choosing a lot, making a lot of critical decisions because of money. Because of money. And how you are trained, the values that you are given, would have a lot to do with the decisions that you make in terms of money. And the marriage, if you happen to have one, if you happen to give in to the pressure that they give to everybody to say go and marry, go and marry, go and marry, and then they go and marry. If you happen to give in to that pressure, it may not be a bad idea after all. but you cannot trivialize the importance of money on that marriage and the happiness of it. Some people say that, oh, it doesn't matter. Once we love ourselves, everything will be all right. I think that money should be part of the love because it will solve a lot of problems. A lot of the problems can be solved. The rent, the house, the school fees, everything that you are paying in that marriage will require money. And therefore, if you are going to go into it, there should be some amount of money. Or if there is no money, at least there should be that strength to create that money because you cannot. Most the research that they have is that most of these marriages that people have, the divorces, they happen. And a lot of the factors are related to money. It's not the level, it's the money. The pressure at home has a lot to do with money. My friend the other time said that if you see a man and a wife fighting early in the morning, give them money. And hopefully you solve a lot of the problems. And I agree. And so I think the marriage needs some level of skill set. You should have some level of information to be able to marry and to have some level of peace, some level of decorum. Because remember, it's two separate individuals who are coming together to form a family. And you cannot bully your way through. Every human being wants to succeed. Every human being wants to be respected. Every human being wants to be cherished, understood, and would want to feel like they are making contribution. So you are coming from that kind of culture says that women don't have a say. Ideally, that will not happen. They will have a say, and they want the money as well. And so there is there's a certain amount of skill set that you must have. There's a certain amount of knowledge that you must have. There's a certain amount of understanding that you must have, maturity that you must have to have this marriage. If you let them just push you, thrash you into it like the way they are doing to a lot of people, once you complete school and you get a job, you say that you must marry. Whether you are ready or you are not ready, they say that nobody gets ready. Anyway, you just go there and try. If it works, it works. If it doesn't work, it doesn't work. I don't know if that is a good option because human beings are going to come out of that, hopefully. And different families are engaged in it. So you may want to have some level of understanding, some level of maturity before you eventually consider this. And if you're already in it, then you have got to do a lot of learning, a lot of training, a lot of skill acquisition to make it work well. Because usually what you see out there is just, acting. A lot of people are acting with what you see outside. The real temperature is when you are with them at home. Then you test to see that this one is good one and this one is not a good one. But the money, I think, will reduce a lot of the pressure. A lot of the pressure at home can be handled if the money is handled. If the money is taken care of, a lot. Because all of us work for money anyway. Majority of the world's population do the work that we do, make a lot of decisions that we make because we want money. If you go to the secondary school or you go to the universities now, or the courses that they are choosing, what do you think they are choosing the courses? They are choosing the courses hopefully so that they will get some kind of money. A lot of them even choose courses that they will get direct work, job is there. And hopefully it means that at least they will get salary to take care of themselves and to take care of their family. You don't have to come to a point to think that, once you are married, everything is going to be all right. The money problem must be solved, if not entirely, because a lot of the pressure that people are dealing with, a lot of the pressure that we are handling, a lot of it has got to do with the money, with the money, with the money. And yet, when people get money, how we acquire the money and how we spend the money reflects the kind of person that we are. If they give you 10,000 now, how that 10,000 came, whether you stole it or you work for it, whether you invested it or you save it. If somebody tricked you, somebody cheated somebody and gave it to you, how the money comes to you has a lot to do with the kind of person you are, your character. And then how that money goes out of your pocket, how you spend that money that you're making, also has a lot to do with the kind of person that you are. If they give you 20,000 or 100,000, what would you do with it? Would you go and buy a very nice car, or build a very nice house, or change your children's school fees, or go to some countries and enjoy yourself, or even stop the work that you're doing, the job that you have, because now you have money? Because a lot of people think that if they get money, all their money problems will be solved. I don't know if that is true, because there are a lot of people who have won lotto, big one, and that did not solve the money problems. There are a lot of people who have had, maybe they were receiving maybe 2,000 a month, and they got another job and they started to receive 5,000, and that did not a month. That did not solve the money problem, because the money problem, first of all, is your understanding of what money really is. And if that understanding is strong, you'll be able to handle the money well. If that understanding is weak, like a lot of people, we only work to get money to chop, work to get money to chop, work to get money to spend, work to get money to show off, to bluff. You know, in a kind of community that we are, if you see my car and you see my house, a lot of people will think that the person is rich just because of the house and just because of the car. Our understanding of money is just from the expenditure level. That's how we understand money. Now, that's the level that most people will come to in terms of money. But the people who have worked, because money, they say, said that if you don't have a certain amount of it, you worry about it so much. So the people who don't have enough of it, always, every day, worry about it. You don't have money to buy kenke wache, pay school fees. Every time when you get up in the morning, that's all you're thinking about. You're thinking about money. The other ones who have a lot of it, when they get up, they don't think about money that much. They don't worry about money, that where am I going to get money to send my child to school, or buy clothes, or pay the rent. They don't worry about it. So most people in this world, the very things that they have pushed for us to pay attention to, because most people, if you don't know, most people in this world are very much attracted to things that will just make us laugh happy. We are not attracted ordinarily to things that will make us responsible and pay attention to the things that are very much important, like the happiness of the family, like being able to have enough to take care of yourself and help other people. The very things that will help us to get these things, most people in this world don't pay attention to it. And that's not the word what we even promote. If you watch TV, the things that they show us. We are a poor country, for instance. Early in the morning, you watch the TV, the things that they show us. Sometimes, what is it called? Some telenova. Early in the morning, 6 o'clock, a poor country. And that's what they are showing us. Early in the morning, 7 o'clock, listen to the radio station. They are talking about politics, Kufuado. The majority of the people, instead of us training the people to be productive, to get things, to create prosperity, because when there is prosperity, a lot of things are solved. And obviously, when there is money at home, a lot of things can be managed, can be contained. You see a man married to a very rich woman, you don't just run away like that too. If you see a woman married to a rich man, divorce ordinarily does not easily happen like that. They think of it before they go. Why? Because a lot of problems can be solved. Now, if the pressure is there, if the lack is there, for instance, if you happen to lose your job, you see that that job that you have lost will have a lot of impact at home, will have a lot of impact on the marriage, will have a lot of impact on the children, will have a lot of impact even on your health. So you cannot trivialize the money, thinking that, oh, it is love. It's not just about love. This world runs on money. And if you don't have a certain amount of it, you cannot deal with the pressure. You cannot deal with the pressure. So I'm talking about marriage and money. And the way you see, sometimes we go for some weddings and you see the way that people are dancing, that there will be trouble. Because they are not thinking of the future. They are not even aware of the things that they have pushed themselves in. They think that it's just that's music and dancing. Yes, of course, there are couples like that. But that's why they wallow in poverty and lack. That's why they are always in disagreement and pain. And you don't see the value of money on this kind of marriages until there's trouble. When there starts to be some health crisis or some non-payment somewhere, then you see how much people have not paid attention to the things that are critical to the very survival of the thing that is very much important to you, like family, like family. And so marriage is important. And now if you're going to marry, they will ask you, do you have a job? For instance, where does the man work? And some people will even go and take job just because they want to marry. So because in the places that they marry, it's a requirement, it's a demand that you have to have a job before they marry you. How about if you marry and you lose the job? Or if you marry and you meet a job? I think that the right question should be, do you have enough to take care of the family? Do you have enough invested? Do you have enough saved? Because just the job may not do the trick. Because some people have the job, but they don't have enough. So just having a job, even though it's good to have a job, but just having a job and does not solve it. Does not mean that you're ready to marry. Because the expenditure, if the family needs 5,000 a month and you're paid 200 Ghana cedis a month, the 200 Ghana will not do anything. It's like you're not having a job. And yet those are the things that people are asking. And some parents will even put the pressure, even if you don't have a job, you don't have money, they just want you to go and marry and have a child. Forgetting that when you have that child, it is money that will take care of that child. That child will go to school, that child may fall sick, that child may have to sleep, eat, be clothed. So the marriage actually is money. It's money. And if you're not strong to go through the period of lack, the period of not having enough, and being able to think, that's why I'm sorry to say this, but that's why some ladies will say that they don't want to marry a poor man. And I don't think they are wrong. I think if they have not built themselves to take a lot of pressure, then it's better they go for somebody who has at least taken some of the pressure off. They want somebody with something a little, so that at least they will not deal with the lack. Because the lack can be disturbing. The lack can take you, can stagnate you. And the fact that you have that school does not solve it anyway, because you have to work to have enough to take care of that family. And so I'm talking about marriage and money, and each of them is a tower. Each of them is a problem that many people are solving. Some people are looking up to the time that they will marry, and for a lot of people, they say it's the D-Day. It's their day. That is the marriage. And before they even get to the ceremony and everything, they save a lot of money and they splash the money in a day, and hopefully God will take care of them beyond that. Some would even go and borrow. I think very grandiose, very, big weddings are for people with a lot of excess of money. If you don't have enough, I don't think you should go and waste the money that much, because you really don't need the money for the wedding ceremony. You need the money to run the business of marriage, the business, because it's a business. His money is going out every day. So don't save the money if you're coming from a background, when you're coming from a family, when you don't have enough, when you don't have a father to help you, when you don't have a mother to help you, no brother to help you, and you're just somebody who's you're pushing yourself, to just make a living for yourself. When you have saved that 10,000, that 5,000, that 20,000, don't waste it on a big wedding, because don't forget, it's an industry now. And that's why they do a lot of pictures, they do a lot of exhibitions all over. You see, Joy FM is trying to do all that, they're promoting the clothes. If you don't have enough, then do it according to the level that you have, because you are going to need a lot of that money after the ceremony anyway. And look at yourself. I think that most people compare themselves, forgetting the kind of background that they come from. And if you are going to make a mistake, don't make a mistake on the money. Don't make a mistake to think that, okay, I have 5,000, but because my friend had a very nice wedding, you are going to have some. Oh, no, you need the money to save. Invest it. And I think that most people, the way the world is running, or the way the world is being running, there's a lot being run. There's a lot of pressure on our time. there's a lot of pressure on our money. If both of you marry and both of you, let's say you work in some of these institutions, the rate at which that they are letting people go home, the rate at which that companies are being run wrongly, you don't know if that job is going to be there for the next 2, 3, 4, 5 years. You don't know. You have no idea. And if they say go home, you don't know whether you're going to get another job the next minute or so. So the duty of the family, the duty of that marriage that you're in, is to at least to create some kind of revenue, some kind of investment, some kind of side business or business. At least one of you trying something to make sure that you have enough almost all the time. Because the anger of the man, the anger of the woman will be coming from the fact that there's not enough. You are really pressed because of the lack of the money. You don't have enough. Almost all the time, they say that most people, 2 weeks after payment, is pressure. They say it. And so if you're going to live like that for the next 10, 20, 40 years, it's not going to be good. And you still want to keep your ethics, you still want to keep your character, you don't want to cheat, you don't want to lie, and that makes it even double tough. That's why most people are just saying that God will give me a miracle on money. Don't confuse those things. Money is something that is a product of a lifestyle. It's a product of efficiency. It's a product of productivity. So if both of you have a job, you should be able to have a plan to save enough and never to waste it. And don't place the future of the family on lotto and waiting for God to give you money. Is another form of lotto, no matter who is telling you. And most families have wasted their time, have wasted their resources because they believe somebody somewhere was always giving them prophecies as to how God was going to bless them. I will not go for that. I'll rather go and use the brains that God has given me and to create the essence gradually, because if you have enough, at least the pressure of the family, there'll be joy. If there is lack in the family, if there is panic, if there is fear all the time, if there is fear that if they sack me from this company, my children cannot go to this school. If they sack me from this company, I cannot pay that house. I cannot pay that rent. If they sack me from this school, I cannot take the child to hospital. If there is that constant fear, it is your duty, both of you, in the marriage, to solve it. And most people will also be in haste to start to use the little money that they have saved to go and take some, like housing, for instance. Most people will just use the little money they have, they want to start a house project. You're saving, you're working, they are paying you. You're working, the money is working, they're paying you. Then both of you are saving and you're putting it into a house, you're building 10-bedroom house. No, create assets to invest it and to get cash flow, more than just going to look because your friend has built a house, you also want to go and build quickly. No, create the wealth first. Because a lot of us are just making money decisions based on the average knowledge on money in air. Not because you have really sat down to, because I think that every family, everybody must have a special formula that works for them in terms of how they handle their finances and how they handle their family. The fact that somebody and the wife are running the family this way does not mean that you should. You should look at your situation and what works better for you. What works better for you. So you have chances that you want to achieve results. You want to not have always the panic that we don't have enough. When there's a problem, there's always pain. I'm always running to my uncle, my mother, my father, my sister to go and ask them to help me every time. That could be the beginning, but that cannot be a lifestyle for 10, 20 years. That means that the formula is wrong. So both of you may sit down, and be open, because sometimes it's amazing where two people are married and then they don't even know their money. Everybody controls, their money. How are you going to win? How are you, unless you have 3 or 4 wives, maybe that one. But if you have one wife, how are you, or you have one husband, how is it that both of you are keeping it a secret? You can cook and eat, sleep, and you want to keep money secret. Because to most people, money is like God to them. I don't think it's a good formula, because you have made it you have made a commitment to live your life together, and you came together to achieve something. And you cannot achieve much if you don't control the money, if you don't have the formula to handle the money. If it's going to be always lack, not enough, not enough, not enough, it's dangerous. It's dangerous, and it's not. You must have the openness to discuss it. Maybe once a month, maybe two times a month, maybe once a week, to discuss what is coming in and how you're going to project the future. Because if you don't plan for that future will come and meet both of you, and you're poor. And that's why most families constantly live on lack. Most of us had parents that never had enough. It's always, and the problem was not because they didn't have enough. Uh, they were not making something. The problem is that there was no formula. The problem was that there was no strategy to create enough, to have excess, or to live in a certain level so that we could have access to take care of the things that are very much important. The problem is that there was no formula. The knowledge that they were running with was the knowledge to work, get paid, spend it, to work, get paid, spend it, to work, get paid, spend it. That's all. And the other level, maybe the higher level of that is to work, save money, just go and start to build a house. And once they finish building the house, the whole family is poor again. So when you're in the secondary school, they will sack you from school fees. They will, all kind of things because the formula didn't work. We probably may do better if you have different information. And that is if you're not trivializing the money aspect and if you have strong formula with the money, because there is no happiness in the marriage when there is always lack, when we are not sure of where the next food is coming from, when you're not sure if you're going to be able to pay that house or pay that rent, when you're not sure, whether the children will have the school fees or not. That is dangerous. And yet most people have been trashed, pushed, forced into this thing that they call marriage. And some people were very happy until they got married. Some people were very very happy people until they started to get into marriage, and then their life got complicated because the skill set to live a single life is not the same skill set that you need to marry. It's a whole different thing, you know. It's a whole different thing, and the skill set to handle your money when you're alone is not the same skill set that you have to handle the money when you have another person that you call a wife or a husband, and possibly with children added. And if you happen to be somebody who is doing business, that is another complication, because then the marriage is looking for your attention and the business is also looking for your attention. And if you don't have enough money, the pressure will be very high. You only run your life based on the level of light, the level of knowledge, the level of understanding that you have. And if there is constant pain, constant lack, constant pressure, it means that what we know may not be working. What we know may be weak. What we know may not be the right one. And so we're supposed to win at least in the marriage, and we're supposed to win at least with the finances. You may not be a billionaire, you may not be somebody with a lot of money, but at least the basic one that can take care of the family, we have to make a deliberate decision to say that if I have a marriage, the responsibility on me to make sure that I have access somewhere. You cannot just say that no, because now the last 1 year or so they have let a lot of people go home. All kind of companies, the banks, all kind of companies are sacking people. Now most of these guys have wives. A lot of the ladies are married. Maybe when you were going to work and you were not at home, there was peace. You were happy as a couple. Now that one of you has lost a job, the other one feels like I can't do this alone. We don't have enough. I think that is everybody is hit one way or the other by problems in his life. And this one could be one of the problems. And usually it should not catch us like that. But once we are caught into it, you just have to restructure, re-engineer, and be together to say that okay, this is the problem. The problem, the lack of the job should not come to split the family. The lack of the job should not come to create extra pressure. It should rather be an opportunity to sit back to say that okay, before we were spending 5,000 every month and we had that. Now we don't have that. So what do? We plan that. Can we do something extra to get income? And never keep your pride so high that you think that you cannot. If you have to do anything at all to support the family, You've got to do it. Doesn't matter who cares about your former work. Nobody really cares. It's you. So far as it's legitimate and you can make revenue, right revenue, you should be encouraged. After all, business can be built out on anything that is legitimate, that is acceptable. People want that service and they are ready to pay for. What makes you think that because you work somewhere and they were calling you director or manager or something, and now you have lost it? That is just a memory. It's gone. At least if you're still looking for an opportunity like that, no problem. But in the meantime, drop the ego because the family is at risk when the money is not coming. The family is at risk. The pressure is very high. The fight will escalate. The children will not be happy. Nobody wants to go to school and they are told to go home because your child or your father has not paid the school fees or your mother has not paid it. No, nobody wants that. It's not good for the children, but they do it here in Accra, at least the one that I know. They give you time, you don't pay, they say the children should go home. And it will bring fight, it will bring disagreement. And then we start to look at whose mistake was it and who didn't take which advice. That's why we are in this kind of situation. It is the marriage, has people involved, has complication. How you take, how you handle yourself maturely when there are difficulties with the money is very much important. But I think that there should be a formula for the growth of the marriage and for the growth of money because as the family continues to grow and expand, there will be money needed. It's like a business. There's no growth when the capital is when the revenue is stagnant. So maybe you were just husband and wife. Now you have a child. There's growth. There's another child. There's growth. The income cannot stay like that and expect the pressure in the family to be low. It can happen. And sometimes you just have to take some risk to look at how you can get extra revenue. And what most people do is to cut corners and connections. Those are not needed. You can help yourself because after all, most of us go to church anyway. And so it's better you do the right things and to make sure that at least you create the excess income. Or maybe you reduce your lifestyle because most people waste a lot of money. They go to every wedding, they go to every funeral, they drive to go and have party with the boys, and they don't have enough. They're changing shoes every day, changing shirt every day, and yet they don't have enough. So a lot of people want to live thinking that if another person sees me live big, it means that I have a lot. It doesn't mean like that. For me, I don't think that I look at your car, I look at your house, I even look at your clothes and think that you are rich. No, no. Those who are rich, they have a lot of investments, they have businesses, they have income coming in that consistently coming in. That that those incomes are more than what they spend. Those are the people who are rich. They don't show their car to tell you they are rich. If anybody shows you his car to tell you that he's rich, he's probably not rich. And so you don't have to compete to tell people that because I have this house, it means I'm rich. That's a weak argument. And that's what most people do. You don't have to have a very big wedding to tell people that you have money. That's not necessarily true. Because nobody remembers that. What they remember is that you are not coming to them to beg for food. That you are taking care of other people, you are helping people because you have enough. You have structured your life, said that you live within your means and you have excess. And then for me, that will bring the family, the calmness, the comfort, the respect, the joy in the family if you structure things like that. Because the results that you're looking for, the peace, the calmness, the respect, the harmony in the family, uh, it is built. Those kind of results, they are built. They are built with wisdom. They are built with patience. They are built with structure. They don't just happen. And the same with the money. The money side of the family is also built. It grows. It has to. And some people will focus on the other and lose the other. So some people say that no, 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 me, I want to build a nice family. So I don't want to look at the money. And by the time you see it, they are poor. And when there's a critical situation, they can't do anything about it. And then the other one, we also want to say that no, 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 my job, my career, my business is so much important to me. So the family does not need me. Then they go for the money. By the time they see it, the family is broken, is destroyed, and lives are involved. Human beings are involved, and the damage that that child gets lives with her or lives with him all their lives. And so it's a tough call. And yet they said that living on this earth is not that simple. And so the marriage and the money, you cannot trivialize any of them. And especially the men, whether they told you or they didn't tell you, you are the one to call the shot. You have to be bold enough to make sure that the family does not live in poverty. The family does not live in poverty. You have to sweat, you have to work. And at the same time, they expect you to be honest. And it is tough. And nobody lives on the salary, not one, and be able to solve the money problem in the family. Not the kind of salaries that they pay you. You cannot live on that. One single source of revenue, feeding the family. You can't do much. So you have to find a way to create another source by taking some risk, not cheating, not lying, but taking some risk. Maybe you have to do another job, you have to look for another job or some part-time work because it's the happiness, and sometimes even the survival of the marriage is contingent on the money. It's true. It's true. Where people choose to live sometimes has a lot to do with the money they have. Where people choose to live. A lot of people will just go and say that I want to move from Ghana. Why? It's because they're looking for money. And there are families where the man will move or the woman will move, leave the other one. They are going to work somewhere. And for 10 years, they are not back. By the time they come back, the children are gone. The marriage is broken. And the main reason was what? Was money. Was money. So the money has a lot to do with the beauty and the strength and even the peace, the temperature of the marriage. And you just have to know that it is that critical to the survival of a family. And as a man, he said that you too. So you have to solve it because if you trivialize it, at a point that you least expected it, it will break. It will break. You can do all the other things that most people do: the respect, the honor, the things that you can do in a family. But people sweat, people worry when they don't have enough. No human being wants to be poor. I don't think there's any human being who wants to live in lack all their lives. I don't think there's any human being who wants to endure pain and worry and disgrace all their lives. They may enjoy it for a while, but not all their lives. So the marriage goes with money, and you have to find a way of solving the money problem. Both of you. Both of you. Sometimes when there is lack, it causes pressure. And sometimes when there is a lot, they also cause pressure. But I think that if the other things are intact, if the love is there, if the honesty is there, if the respect is there, the money will beautify it. But if all those things are there and the money is not there, trouble. Trouble, 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 trouble. So the kind of, and if you're a young person and you're looking at maybe marry, which they are pushing a lot of these young people to marry anyway, in our country, you cannot say that you don't want to marry you. Even though we don't even know, it is destroying more lives than getting more lives together, I think, because we are not equipped like that with the right information. Because if you don't have the right information, this thing is not for you. It's not the ones that you're doing. A lot of people's life have become complicated because the right information is not there. So they go to marry, and that creates poverty, or they live dishonest life all their lives because they have to do all the ways and means to make sure that every time there is job money, all the ways and means to make sure that every time there is school fees, there is a rent, there is some car. And you and I know that a lot of the salary if you're honest. Cannot keep up with the lifestyle that most people live anyway. So the right person that you choose to marry will have a lot to do with your peace and your joy. And the decision both of you make in terms of how you want to grow this family, this marriage, how you want to put the money and grow it and have enough is also key. But don't leave it behind to think that no, it doesn't matter. Love. The other time somebody was telling me that, oh, it doesn't matter once we love ourselves. I said, okay. Don't forget that love is a sacrifice. And if you don't have it, you can sacrifice it, and money is part of it. So the money is important for the survival of the family. The money is important for the survival of the family. Don't you realize it and never think that it is second hand. It is not. And if anybody is pushing you to go and marry, look at your family background. Look, do you have any support? Do you have any encouragement? Somebody may go into marriage and the father would help him with a house, with a car. Now you are going there with none of it. And yet the little money that you are saved, you want to splash it in a day. There will be problem for you. There will be problem because the pregnancy, if there is any, we need money. And if that baby comes, we need money. And they will go to school. We need money. So long as they are alive, it's money. It's money. And you yourself, you will need it. If you want to go to school back, want to go back to school like the way most people do in our country, you never stop going to school anyway. So you always want to go to school. Even if you don't need it, you just want to go and do masters or to go and do PhD. And it's all money that they are wasting. And yet they don't have enough saved for their future. It is amazing. And they hope that they will just get some government work somewhere, big position, big director, and all their money problems will be solved. Money problem is never solved instantly. It is solved gradually. Most people's money challenges will not be solved instantly. They are solved gradually. And so without a good formula, it will be difficult for you to have the money issues to solve in the family. And most families can have money problems for 50 years, for 30 years, for the lives of the marriage, for the life of the marriage, for the life of the family. Every time there is a lack, every time there's disagreement, every time there's pain. You don't want to create that kind of family. So you have to look at it. If you're young, solve it now. Don't you realize it? Look at how you're spending the money that you have. Look at how you can get in more revenue and get open-minded. Get open-minded. Be ethical, but get open-minded. Don't just be screwed to say that I'm a lecturer, so all that I can do is to lecture. I can't do any other thing. You can be a lecturer and still have a provision shop. You can be a lecturer and have taxes working for you. You can be a lecturer and have apartments somewhere. You can do anything that is legitimate for extra income because it has direct effect on the family that you have. It has direct income. And it even reduces your pressure. If tomorrow they tell you don't come to work again, the only reason you're worried is not because you love the work so much. Most people don't love the work that they do. The only reason that they're worried is that they are going to be sacked or the appointment is being terminated, the contract is being terminated is because they don't have enough. That's why most people are worried of what they do, where they work. It's not because they love the work. Very few people love the work that they do. They only work because they want the salary. But if you have a good lifestyle, a good plan, after 5 to 10, 20 years, if they tell you to go home, you and the woman should be able to have the courage and not to worry to say that it's okay. We'll find another one. But in the meantime, we have enough setup to take care of ourselves. Because in this world, if you don't have money, it's a challenge. Life is tough. Life is tough without marriage if you don't have money. And if you are married and you don't have money, that's double tough. Complicated. Every day you're planning. You're thinking, you're crashing. So if they're pushing you into the marriage, look at the money side. Look at the money side. It's not something to scare you, just to tell you that yes, it's good. People marry, it's good. They have children, they enjoy life. It's fine. But The money is very much important to it. That's why some people split. You see marriages split. Look at the reason. A lot of the times it's money problem. It's about money. That's why they split. It's like business. Most businesses collapse because of what? Money related issues. Money. The income was not coming. The debt was being piled. They could not pay the salary. They could not pay the taxes. They could not pay their suppliers. They could not pay everybody. Then the company will just declare bankrupt. They say that they are bankrupt, and then that's the end of the company. Same with family. When the pressure is coming, when nothing is being paid, people start to look for options. And so the joy of the house has a lot to do, or the joy of the home has a lot to do with the money. So don't trivialize it. It's a lot. It's very much important. And you have got to do a lot to make sure that you can solve it and solve it yourself. So thank you. Thank you. The money and the marriage. Don't you realize it? Whatever you have got to do. And don't forget that the job is not money. The job is just one source of income. To solve the money problem, you cannot depend on a job alone. To solve the money problem of a family, you must have a formula. You must have a strategy. You must, and that one nobody will teach you. You have to sit down, have a formula to say that this is where we want to go in the next 3 years, the next 4 years, the next 5 years. At least if you cannot become millionaires, the one that will help us to have the temperature down, you must have it. And always look at how the money is going. Look at the 10 things that you are spending the money on and see if you can manage them and manage them well. Because a lot of people make some money, but they destroy it. They spend it on things that they don't even need. They spend it on things that don't grow the money, because when the money comes to your hand, if you're going to overcome this lack of it problem, you must have a strategy to grow that money. Everybody's making something anyway, but you must have a strategy to grow it. And both of you, if you put your head together, I bet you can have a better formula than just one person thinking. To have a strategy to handle the money issues, because it's like the water at home. If it's not there, nothing else moves. And so is it with the money. And we cannot, after 20 years, after 5 years, after 10 years, always we are waiting for salary. It means that we didn't solve it. We didn't solve it. You have to solve it. And stuff. And it means that if you're spending 10,000 every month, you must make at least 20,000. If you're spending 1,000 every month, you must make at least 2,000, so that you can save and invest some and grow some. Because you're also growing. Tomorrow will come. And the time will come that you cannot even work. What will take care of you? That one, they are not telling us. And we are not waiting for what is their name? Senator. You wait for Senate. That will be another challenge for you. You don't want to you don't want to be in your old age and you feel like you never lived. Because some people, or most people, when they are on retirement, it's not good. It's not good. You see him was a professor, was a politician, was a director of something, and you look at their retirement. He was a doctor, he was a lawyer, big one. And because they did not plan for the future came to destroy them. So this is the time that we can do something little, and maybe likely it is about money anyway, and how well we handle it, how well we grow it, and our understanding of it. If you think poor, a lot of people are young, but they think poor. They waste money. They want to impress people. You have to have some level of, strength and some level of courage to say that I don't care. This is the formula that I have developed that is going to help me to manage the money, or help us to manage the money, and we will stick with it, because not many people will be billionaires. Don't forget that. But at least everyone would have a fair chance of having a budget or having a revenue which is more than what the family spends. That one is doable for every family if they so have a plan and they work towards it. That one is almost possible, because there's a budget and you have a plan. And if you have a plan, you can stick with it. So long as you're ready to pay the sacrifice and work, and so far as you're ready to pay the price and work and sacrifice and have a strategy, and both of you thinking, because it's a duty, you must solve it. Because the children will get to a stage where they will go to school, they will need money. You can't wait for everybody. You cannot be begging all the time. So the peace of the marriage has a lot to do with the money at home. When you see them laughing and smiling, usually it's because there's money. If there's constant lack and pressure coming from the money, the pressure at home is not good. So when you start off, you should also look at solving that. And there should be openness between the two, and say that we want to solve this money problem. We want to solve this money problem because it's a problem for a lot of people. Not only you, a lot of people have that challenge. So thank you very much for watching. Thank you.